to see the consequences? Take a look. You see an Earth that can be saved? It's too late. It's already been quaked apart.
So I've left this community post on my channel's main page, asking people to basically drop any questions that they need answered over the finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or anything concerning Season 6. Now, as I did state on so many videos prior to the airing of the finale, I do have a lot of plans when it comes to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They are not going to cover the entire one-year break, but then news are going to come out and all of that good stuff, and you're going to see me posting a lot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. videos throughout the upcoming year. Now, interestingly enough, a lot of those questions that you did pose on that post, on that community post, were basically questions that I plan to make entire videos out of. They are questions that need a lot of discussion in order to answer. They need a lot of clarification. For example, the powers of Quake, which I'm going to be discussing on this video. It's not as simple as Centipede. It's not as simple as Jiaying's DNA. So yeah, I'm going through all those questions, and if I got 2 questions that could be answered on one video, I'm going to do that. If I got multiple questions that could be compacted on one video, I'm going to do that as well. But then again, there are those questions that are going to require expanding, Quake's powers being one of them. So welcome back, guys, and let's talk Quake's powers on the finale of Season 5 and possibly going into Season 6. Now, every single response I'm going to be giving over here is based on my own logic. It's based on my own opinion and how I see things happening on the finale of Season 5 and possibly on the few episodes before that. So do take that in mind, because I'm not a know-it-all. I don't know for sure what's going to happen. I don't know how they're going to play their cards, but it does seem that they were foreshadowing the pumping of Daisy's powers and from the very beginning of Season 5. So early on, we've got the reveal that she is the destroyer of worlds. Now, even though that reveal did not hold true, we came to discover that Talbot is the real destroyer of worlds, that what he did over there and in the previous timeline was absorb Daisy into him, gain her powers, and wreck the planet. Obviously, Talbot did hint at that a lot of times during the finale of Season 5. You've got him threatening Robin to take her powers at the very beginning of the episode, taking them for himself, you know, right before he discarded the idea because she's just a kid. You've got him as well threatening Daisy to absorb her into himself and take her powers for himself and start quaking the Earth on his own, make the process faster for him to gain all the Gravitonium. But nonetheless, that is just a quick explainer to that. Another explainer that is required over here is how did Daisy yell at Coulson, tell him to go back and take the Centipede serum when she supposedly knew that the Centipede serum was on her. The truth is, she did not really know it was on her. I mean, you need to check the sequence of events on this episode in order to realize that. You've got the scene on which Coulson hands her suit. Suit up.
She didn't go through that for nothing. Time to suit up.
You've then got this other scene where Coulson and Daisy have this conversation, and then Coulson tells her to try and talk Talbot through it, and if not, use the power in her arms in order to stop him. It's a pretty clever play on words as well over there.
I've given you all the tools you need to handle this. Now you find the strength in your heart to appeal to his good nature. And if you can't, find the strength in your arms to beat his ass senseless.
You've then got that moment where she leaves the Quinjet, yells at him, tells him to go back and use the Centipede serum, not knowing that he's already sneaked it into some sort of hidden compartment in her gauntlets.
You take it! Do you hear me? You fly back and you take it! We fought for you! Okay? We fought each other for you!
Now finally, you've got the scene where she realizes she's got the Centipede on her and uses it in order to beat Talbot down, in order to defeat Talbot. Now watching the expression on her face in that scene, you could tell that she was surprised. You could also tell that there was a moment of hesitation. Should I use it on myself and beat Talbot down and defeat him, or should I keep it, try to defeat Talbot in a different manner, and go back and save Coulson? I think this was as well one of those moments that kind of changed the timeline. Knowing Coulson and knowing that he believes that the life he's gonna get out of the Centipede serum is probably a very unnatural life, I'm inclined to assume that he always did that. He always hid the Centipede serum in Daisy's gauntlets, and she always made the wrong choice. She never used it. She always planned on taking it back to Coulson, trying to treat him, trying to defeat Talbot in a different manner or in a different style, and she always failed. She always ended up being absorbed by Graviton, and as a result, she always disappeared in the epicenter of all of it, and everyone thought she was the destroyer of worlds, while Graviton was originally the destroyer of worlds. But the conclusion over here, in order not to deviate from topic, Daisy never knew that she had the Centipede on her, so pretty much that was not a result of sloppy writing. They did tie all the ends together, and they did not write that separately from the first event, it being Daisy yelling at Coulson and telling him to go back and take the serum. But anyway, circling back to this entire thing with the foreshadowing of Daisy's powers growing over time, the thing is, it has been foreshadowed since season 2. If I remember correctly, it was Gordon that told her that her powers could grow and multiply in a manner that would later on make her capable of shattering continents. You've got a similar foreshadowing with her being accused of being destroyer of worlds in the future in 2091 early this season, and then you've got Cassius Sr. talking to her about pumping up her powers on episode 21, and finally we've got the Centipede serum on episode 22, the finale of season 5. But right now it is time to explain how the Centipede serum works when it comes to Daisy. Now, there are two major questions over here. Number one, is this permanent? Because we do know the Centipede serum effects do wear off after some time. And number two, if this were to be permanent, what are the new powers that Daisy has gotten over here? Let's talk the first question first. So this is not really the Centipede serum, this is the Centipede serum mixed with Jiaying's DNA, and Jiaying's DNA is not separate from it, so it's not the Centipede serum separately, and not Jiaying's DNA separately. Now looking at the periodic table, you've got H2 and O2, you've got hydrogen and oxygen, and both of them are gases and none of them is a liquid. But then you've got H2O, the product of combining oxygen and hydrogen, and the three of them do have different properties, and the three of them do have different effects. Alright, so say you decide to pause this video for a moment, go put an oxygen tank on your back and start breathing out of it, you're gonna survive. Now say you go do the same with a hydrogen tank, you're not gonna survive. Now say you try to drink oxygen or you try to drink hydrogen, it is pretty much not possible, cause again, they're not liquid. But go ahead and try to drink water, H2O, and it is possible. Now try mounting a water tank on your back and start breathing out of it. Yeah, don't try that or the hydrogen thing, you're gonna suffocate or drown. So what I'm trying to say over here is the compound that is a product of combining two elements, or two compounds even, does definitely have a chance to have different properties than the two compounds or the two elements that we used to create it. So yeah, the Centipede serum's effects might wear off, but when combined with Jiaying's DNA, it produces something completely different, so no, it might not actually wear off. But to sum up this part, I'm not really saying that this is how they're gonna play it out on the series. They might play it out in a different manner. What I'm trying to say over here is this is how I processed it in my head, this is how I saw it, and I might be totally wrong and I might be totally right, but this is only the logical explanation from my very own point of view. But moving on to the second question, what powers would Daisy have if the Centipede serum's effects were not to wear off? When you do think about it, it's not just the DNA, it's not just the Centipede, it's the entire new formula that was created by combining both together. So right now, Daisy is more invincible than she used to be. She's not totally invincible probably, because that would not make any sense, that would take away a lot from the series if they made her to be completely invincible, but she could now bear shocks that she couldn't bear before. This Daisy is different than the Daisy that we saw moments before that, the very same Daisy that did not have the formula coursing through her veins. But now we've also got that powerful kick, the kick that sent Talbot into space. Now whether Talbot is dead or not and all of that stuff, I'm going to talk about that on a separate video later on, because yeah, a lot of people are assuming Talbot must be alive, Graviton must be alive, but I believe he's probably not alive, but possibly with some sort of twist over there. Gonna be talking about that later though. But as of now, the case seems to be that Daisy is overpowered, that Daisy can actually kick shit like there is no tomorrow. Now if I were to be right and the effects of this new serum are long lasting, then Daisy probably has powers beyond imagination, super strength that is beyond imagination, and her tremors or quaking powers as well, those must have multiplied like crazy. So to sum up, there has been a lot of foreshadowing since season 2 that Daisy's powers are going to grow beyond imagination. There has been a lot of foreshadowing on season 5 as well. The new serum is not really the Centipede serum, and it's not really Jiaying's DNA, it's a mix of both. It creates a new formula, and we do not know if the properties of this formula are different, and we do not know if the properties of this formula are actually everlasting. Now it would make a lot of sense with all the foreshadowing that they are everlasting, and if that were to be the case, then she's got a lot of super strength that she never had before. Her Quake abilities have multiplied, and not only would she have healing powers like those of her mom's, but she would also have a higher threshold for pain, and she would also have both higher agility and higher endurance. That being said, that only answers a couple of questions that you guys have posted on my community post or in response to my community post a couple of days ago. So a lot more answers are coming through, a lot more videos are coming through over the next few weeks. I'm going to be phasing them out a little bit because I do need some rest. My voice is still suffering a little bit and I've just been working non-stop, both on videos and on my daytime job, so yeah, it's not helping. But that being said though, let me know what you thought of this explainer to both the scene with Daisy and Coulson, her finding the Centipede serum, and everything that's got to do with her new powers. Does the entire thing about the serum being different than the Centipede and Jiaying's DNA make sense? Do you think that these powers are going to be long-lasting, and do you think that we're going to see Daisy use them on Season 6? You can also let me know if you did like this video by dropping it a much appreciated like, and if that were to be the case, you can always subscribe and enable notifications for my future videos, community posts, and live streams. Until next time though, thank you all for tuning in, and have a great day.